Hi everybody! Welcome to my channel. It's a channel about cross stitch and crafts, holiday items, home decor, basically anything fun that I have interest in. My name is Amy and I live here in Arizona, and I'm glad you're joining me today. If you're returning, thank you, welcome back. I am a day late on my video. I try to usually video on Sundays, but I kind of had a little touch of a stomach bug yesterday, so it kind of threw everything off a day. But just know that I won't disappear for forever. If I'm late or I miss a week, it's something probably came up, and I would always, come let you guys know if I wasn't going to do videos anymore. So don't ever think that's the reason if I go missing in action for a little bit. But all right, let's get into my cross stitching this week. I have a FFO Fully Finished Object, and as you know, I stitched Except Grandma's by Lindy Stitches, and I finished stitching it, and I went to a garage sale and found an oval frame, and I pulled it apart. It had this picture in it. It was a cream oval frame, and I painted it. So here's my finish. It's tight. It's a tight fit, almost too small down there on the, right here. But I don't think it bothers me that bad. It's fine for now. It's not permanently in here, so if I needed to change the frame later, I could. But as I said, it was like a yellow cream color, and so I finished it with I painted it. I used Farm Girl Cherry Pie, and then I rubbed a little bit with a dry brush of a little bit of just black paint on it, and then I kind of sanded it a little bit, and that's how I finished it. And I think I'm going to hang it here in my stitching room. I think it will match my stitching room very nicely with all the colors, and I think I have a spot for it over here on my wall by my sewing machine, and I think that's where it's going to live. So for now, the back has this old piece of, I don't know, cardboard, and it's just an old antique frame, but I think it turned out nice. I just used a little bit of batting and a piece of like foam core board or whatever, and I just used some stick pins and pinned it and pushed it in there. So if I ever wanted to change how this finish was, I could totally take it apart. But I'm happy with the results, and I'm excited to have it done. Finishing this brings me down to 11 WIPs. So I can't believe I have 11 WIPs. That's kind of crazy, and I don't know how that happened. Well, I kind of know how that happened. All of you enabled me by showing me your stuff, but okay. So we'll go ahead and do our giveaway since I'm showing that piece. I last week gave you a word to use. I want you to use the word grandma and share memory. And I have a winner. The winner is Lynette Turnbaugh. Lynette Turnbaugh, you're the winner. I'm going to put your comment here on the screen. Thank you for being a subscriber. I really appreciate it. And what Lynette said in her comment is she said she loved how she could go to her, like she called her grandma Nana, how she'd go to her Nana's house and they could always get anything they wanted to eat out of the fridge or the cupboards. And I love that because that's kind of how I am. It's not kind of how I am, it is how I am. Anybody can have anything they want to eat from the fridge or the cupboards. And I know that that's how I'll be with my grandkids. And she even said that she keeps all her grandkids' favorite foods in her fridge and cupboard. So when they come over, they can find their favorite stuff to eat. And I love that so much. My grandma, both of my grandmothers were a little bit more of, well, my one grandma that I got to spend the most time with, she we would sneak and go look what she had in her cupboards, and then my siblings would ask me to go ask her, because they said that she always told me yes and told them no, which I don't think that was true. But anyway, so I would go ask her if we could have it, and then she would let us have it. But it wasn't like you could just free for all go get stuff out of the cupboards. And then my other grandmother, we didn't see her as often, and when we did, usually we'd go out to dinner. It's this Mexican restaurant called La Perla in Phoenix. It was so good. Oh, it was my favorite. But she had the best cold cereal, and she would let us have her cold cereal, because we didn't. That was like a treat for us. We didn't have all the fancy like Fruit Loops and all those cold cereals when we were growing up. We ate like oatmeal, cream of wheat, homemade breakfast, pancakes. We didn't have the store-bought cold cereal growing up, so that was like a fun treat at her house. She had all the fun sugary cereals at her house. But those are just some more memories of my grandma. But anyway, thank you for sharing your message with me, Lynette. That was fun to kind of think about that and relive those days from my childhood as well. So email me at this email address or message me on Instagram and with your address, Lynette, and I'll get this chart out into the mail to you. Thank you so much. All right. I wanted to show you a couple of previous finishes. I'm getting ready to put out my Patriotic decor, and I have 2 cross-stitch finishes from last year that I'm really excited to show you before I put them back out. So these are previous finishes, and this is my first one I want to show you. I love this one so much. This one is called Memorial Day by Hands On Design, and I stitched this last April through June. It took me a few months to get it done. It's done on 18 count white Aida, and I used the Sulky 12 weight cotton petites on this. It was a pack by Hands On Design. They put together the colors, and it took me about 50 hours to stitch, and I love it so much. I finished it. Okay, so this board is like a fence, right? I bought it. It was all these little slats nailed together, and it had a wire and 2x4s. I found this at a garage sale, and I loved it. I thought, at the time I wasn't cross-stitching when I found this piece, and I bought it because I thought, oh, it'd be fun to do like a little, like if I was setting up food for a party, or I love to do parties and have like different decorations and themes and stuff. So I thought this would be a fun piece to kind of lean up against something and put stuff in front of it, maybe for holiday decorations. And so then I had bought it at this garage sale, and I never had used it. So then when I finished this piece, I was looking around for something to finish this on, and I saw this piece, which resembles to me like an old wooden picket fence. And I thought, oh my heck, this is perfect for this piece, because this is a clothesline. The flags are blowing in the wind, and so this is like the backyard fence, you know. And then I used a wired ribbon as the trim around this piece, so I could really make it curl and fluff up, and it makes it feel like it's blowing in the wind because on the clothesline. And then I put this bow just around the middle. But anyway, I love this piece so much. I love this country so much, and I really love patriotic stuff. So that's my previous finish from last year. So now I get to go hang that up today in my house. I'm going to put my patriotic decor on the tree by the front door, and just kind of get it, you know, put all the stuff out. Get my 4th of July bin out of the garage, and, you know, go from there. The other patriotic finish I have from last year is, let me turn to my book here. Okay. Suffrage Act by Little House Needleworks. And this Suffrage Act piece, I stitched last year, May through July. And I stitched this on Oatmeal Lugana by Lori Holt. To be in my bonnet is 25 count. And I used the call for floss, except for I changed her dress color to Gentle Arts Antique Lace. And I love this piece so much. I picked up this frame at Hobby Lobby. It was a little bit big. As you can see, the finished piece is, you know, there's a little bit more on top and bottom than the sides. So I decided to mount it on top of the frame, and I glued another wired ribbon around the edge, and I attached it to the front of this frame instead of putting it in the frame. And I think that turned out really cute. I love the red and blue contrast. And this piece took me about 23 hours to stitch. So that's my other previous finish. Now we will move into my WIPs, my current WIPs that I had worked on this past week. I didn't get a lot of stitching time. My grandson were over a lot. My daughter was finishing up her classes for summer break, and she had end of the year parties for her classes, and she had a lot of things going on this week, so I kind of was babysitting a lot this week. So I didn't get a lot of time to cross stitch, but I did get some time in. So I'm working on my Little House Needleworks, my Kringles, and I didn't do anything too exciting with this one. I just worked on the brickwork up on the top under the roof. And I just got that line of bricks going in the second row bricks, and it's coming right along. It's easy stitching, which is nice. I can just kind of watch the TV. And I'm using on this one the call for colors and linen. It's called for 30 count Parisian gray by Access Commodities, and all the called for threads, which are mainly DMC and Classic Colorworks. Stitching 2 threads over 2 linen threads. So that's that. That's all I got done on this one. One thing I noticed about these bags that you have to be careful of is they have like a sharp plastic corner, and if you're not careful, it will catch your linen thread and pull it. So be very careful if you buy any of these bags to use for project bags. Eventually, I might make some other ones and trade out of these. I don't like having that. I forget sometimes I pull it out and then I'll grab my linen and I don't want a hole. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now I worked on also, my next WIP that I worked on is by Samplers Not Forgotten. I forgot to get the paper out. Sorry. It's a floral heart kit by Samplers Not Forgotten. And it's so pretty. I really do love the how pretty it is with the roses and the greenery. But I have to tell you that I hate it. I hate stitching it. I don't know if it's my inexperience or if I'm just not doing it right. I don't know. But I am having the heck of a time with it because I think I messed up, I think, in the beginning, and I pulled the wrong greens at the wrong time. And so now, and then I stitched it in the wrong, I lost my spot and I stitched it wrong. So it's going to be totally different than the picture. Yeah, but anyway, here's my progress. I got some more of the little pink buds in and some of the leaves done. And like I said, I think it's going to be beautiful when I'm done. It's just not going to look like the picture. So now I know when I see a bunch of random leaves like that with green, different colored greens, beware, because I'm having a hard time following the pattern and choosing. And I think part of it was because the thread, it came with the threads and they weren't labeled. They were just all jumbled. And so I think that before I made cards like this with the symbol and the number on it, name on it, I think I was confusing which one I was working on. And so that was part of the problem. And then once I assigned them, like, this is the dark rose, this is the light, this is the medium rose, you know, or light green yellow, bright gold, let me tell you the other names. Medium green avocado, dark green. So once I assigned and put them on these cards, that really helped, but I can tell now that that's different than what I first was doing. So that probably doesn't make any sense, all that. Oh dear. Well, anyway, hopefully it made a little bit of sense, but so that's my progress on that one. I'm hoping to finish that one soon because I'm ready to be done with it. I know, like I said, I know the finished project is going to be beautiful, but it just is not going to be like the pattern exactly. Okay, now moving along to my stitch along, Mary Hunter, and that's a stitch along with the Contented Stitcher, Kim, and Carol with Rosebud Stitcher, and we are stitching Mary Hunter 1844 by GGR. This is so beautiful. I didn't use a call for linen. Instead I wanted to choose a linen I thought resembled the picture on the chart. So I chose Lakeside 40 count vintage cedar plank. And let me tell you what, it is gorgeous. I love it. It is so flossy. I am in love with these colors and with this linen. Is that so pretty? I got the bird done, the flower. I got the little bluebird, the big bird, the flower, all done. I did this border here and the word youth. I'm working my way up. I'm doing a page at a time. But I love this so much. It's so beautiful. The linen is beautiful. And I really like how it's turning out. So that's my progress with that one. And next I have kind of putting it back in the bags as we go because I really don't like to have stuff all over when I'm done. This is my little Pioneer Woman project bag I made out of a placemat, Pioneer Woman placemat. I have a video for that on my ORT file videos, which ORTs stand for Other Random Things. I have two playlists. If you haven't discovered it yet, I have an ORT file playlist, and then I have my FlossTube playlist. And I try to separate them with different types of videos, so you know. Okay, that's all the stitching I have to show you for this week. I wanted to talk a little bit about 2 upcoming starts I'm going to have. Well, 3, but I haven't picked the 3rd start yet. But I have 2 upcoming new starts I'm going to start in June and in July. And I'm going to participate with the Cross Stitch Camp by Colorado Cross Stitcher. Sherry is doing a cross stitch camp. It's virtual, so you can join. And if you go to her video, her last video, and watch the first part of it, it talks all about it and gives you all the steps and how to do it. So the first month in June, she wants you to pick a project that's inspired by somebody else. And I thought I would do a dual purpose on this one. I wanted to join in on the hashtag for Brenda, the sampler stitcher, and she always says stitch what you love. And so I'm taking that hashtag and I'm combining it with the cross stitch camp hashtag, and I'm stitching something that was inspired by her, which is her comment, stitch what you love. And I really love this piece because I love Patriotic stitching so much. I put it in this bag for fun, kind of summery. But I've been wanting to stitch this. I've had it kitted up for a very long time. And I love strawberries. I love Patriotic. I love this country. And so I thought, how appropriate to stitch a little small strawberries and stripes. And so I thought this will be perfect. This is going to be my choice for June. I have had it, like I said, kitted for a long time. With the floss, it calls for Classic Color Works, WIP Works, etc. But I haven't decided on the linen yet. It calls for linen by WIP Works. So I guess the color is called linen. This picture looks fairly white. I was looking through my stash and I don't have a ton of white colors in 36. I do have the Seraphim Stonewashed. It's a 36 count. Can you see the blues and the browns in it? I think if I come back farther, you can see. I think this could be really pretty with that, with all the red, the blues and the reds. Let me remind you again. So what do you think? Oh, I guess you could see it pretty good up here. Maybe pick a part of it that has some blue and brown. So I'm going to do a floss toss and I'm going to think about it. I don't know if I'm going to stitch it on this or not, but I'm kind of leaning towards it. Let me know what you think if you like this Seraphim Stonewashed linen. I think it's pretty, and I think it would be pretty with the 4th of July theme on it. And it's not too brown. So my video just shut off. I don't know why. I hope I didn't lose too much of it. But anyway, as I was saying, I think that this might be a good choice of linen to go with this pattern. So we'll see. That's going to be my June start. And I'll update you next video for sure if that's the linen I'm going to use. But I think I'm going to go with that one. So join us this our virtual stitchers camp. Cross stitch camp is what she calls it. All right, and then what I thought, because July for cross stitch camp, you're supposed to start and finish a project in that month. So that June project I had to finish in June, and then the July project you finish in July, and August you finish in August, and they have different like themes of what you're supposed to do. So for July, the challenge is pick a new designer. So I thought, well, there's another Patriotic one that I haven't stitched yet that I've been wanting to stitch for forever, and it's by Jeanette Douglas Designs, and I don't think I've ever stitched a pattern of hers yet. So I thought I could do this one, Patriotic Mini Bouquet. I love that. I think it's super pretty. It's cute, little small, so I could get it done in the month. And so I think I'll do that one. I've had this one kitted forever as well. It calls for any neutral color fabric, 32 or 36 count. It calls for 40 count Lakeside linen exemplar. But I have vintage light exemplar, so I think I'm going to use that. I have a little piece of that, and then I'm going to use the called for cotton threads. So I think that will be my July 4th, my July stitch for the 4th of July, and then that will get me two Patriotic, get my Patriotic stitching in with both of those. So that's my plan. As anything and everything I do, you know that's subject to change. All it takes is one little squirrel moment and I'm on to something different, but that's my plan. Okay. Let me see if I have any other notes I wanted to tell you about. Oh yes, Coming to America is this week, our Zoom. Coming to America Zoom stitching support is this coming Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. And if you would like to join us and cross stitch with us, it's Arizona time, 6 to 8 p.m. Arizona time, you need to email Julie, and I'll put her email address here on the screen, jmafi@aol.com, and she will send you the link to join us on this coming Wednesday, the 26th. And I really appreciate Julie so much for doing that for us. Thank you so much, Julie. It's a lot of fun to stitch with some other ladies in a group on Zoom. So join us with that. And I think that's all I have for you for this week. I'm sure I will turn this off and then I'll remember what else I was going to tell you about. But anyway, I think that's all I have. And thank you so much for joining me and for all your support. I really appreciate it. And I will talk to you again soon. Stay flossy, my friends. Bye-bye.